You don't bring people halfway around the world to visit a zoo. You bring the zoo to them. Mr. Hammond knew this before he ever dreamt of an island. He began construction on an amphitheater. But he abandoned it in favor of something far grander. And so the facility sits unused, unfinished, when it could be completed and ready to receive visitors in less than a month.
Hey Ember Miners, welcome back to Jurassic Park San Diego. In this episode, we will be focusing on the huts located behind the main amphitheater, as well as the species, amenities, and facility buildings we've designated them as. There are a total of 8 huts in the back of the park, and 5 of them are reserved for smaller dinosaurs that are on display in the park, while the other 3 have been split between a restaurant, a gift shop, and, well, the call of nature, a restroom. The first of our smaller dinosaurs is Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis, a herbivore from the late Cretaceous period, my personal favorite dinosaur. Although unconfirmed, many believe it was actually an omnivore, similar to its cousin Troodon. Omnivore means that it ate both plants and meat. It was likely first cloned in 1988 along with many of the other Hell Creek attractions. Its first appearance in the original trilogy was in the 1997 film The Lost World Jurassic Park. Due to the large size of this animal, it was given the largest paddock amongst the other dinosaurs on display in the huts, and even has a connection to the main amphitheater like the attractions in the front of the park. Did you know that the Pachycephalosaurus in the Lost World Jurassic Park was actually designed to be a male? While most casual fans still believe that the dinosaurs from the films were only to act as population control, this was only intended for the first film. Isla Sorna had both male and female dinosaurs, although there is no clear answer as to why. It's possible that they specifically created males for breeding programs on Isla Sorna, so that the females born as a result would be translated to the many parks that would have eventually happened, so they wouldn't have to rely solely on genetic engineering of the dinosaurs. Breeding programs could potentially be cheaper than mass-producing genetically engineered assets, as lab-grown specimens could be prone to genetic disorders, while naturally bred specimens would be brought up in a simulated natural environment. The next dinosaur on display in our park is Proceratosaurus bradleyi, and the first of our assets from Jurassic Europe. Since it was a dinosaur from Europe, we don't have any specific date as to when it was cloned, but we can assume that they were cloned sometime before 1991, when they swapped the DNA used in filling of the genome gaps from the yellow-banded poison dart frog to the common reed frog. As a placeholder date, we are going to assume that all of the European dinosaurs were cloned in 1989. The Proceratosaurus first appeared by name only in the original Jurassic Park in 1993, but was never seen in the movie itself. We are unsure as to what the Proceratosaurus would have looked like. But since most Jurassic Park designs were nearly directly designed off the skeletal reconstruction drawings by Gregory S. Paul, and the brochure map even gives us an icon on the Proceratosaurus skull, the Amber Mind believes that it would have had a smaller nasal crest on the tip of its snout rather than the more generally realistic crest seen in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2. Unfortunately, the possibility of seeing this animal in canon is incredibly low, as according to the DPG's website and the engine list, they were terminated and all samples of their DNA have disappeared. Despite their abrupt extinction, we hope to eventually see the Proceratosaurus in canon, instead of just toys in video games. Hopefully we will get a prequel movie, or even perhaps a Hammond TV show later down the line that finally gives us Proceratosaurus. But unfortunately, our chances of getting a prequel Jurassic Park TV show are almost as extinct as they are. Next on our list is Microceratus gobiensis, which at the time that our project is set in, they would have been called Microceratops. Their name was heavily debated since their discovery in 1953, but ultimately lost it in 2008 to a species of bee that shared the genus name Microceratops. Thanks to Jurassic World Dominion, we know this dinosaur was one of the first species cloned in 1986 alongside Triceratops and Brachiosaurus. Because of the larger size of the animal during the security recording in Jurassic World Dominion that takes place in May of 1986, it's assumed by the team that InGen used growth hormones during the events of Jurassic Park to speed up the growth of the dinosaurs. Before this, there was no evidence that InGen used them before Jurassic World. Although it wasn't a planned attraction for Isla Nublar Jurassic Park, we thought it would be a great species to include it as a petting zoo attraction, and even modeled it after the Gentle Giant's petting zoo from Jurassic World. It was originally supposed to appear in Jurassic World in the petting zoo scene, where it would attempt to attack a small family after the father was tapping on the glass, and because of this, despite it being an unused concept art, we believe that the Microceratus would be very sensitive to sound. In the original Jurassic Park, there were documents mentioning a fence surrounding the visitor center complex, used specifically to keep out the smaller cleanup dinosaurs that were on the other side of the fence. Although it was never confirmed, the team believed that the creation of this fence was to keep out wild populations of Compsognathus longipes that would have snuck onto Isla Nublar via a transport barge shipping assets from Isla Sorna. Since it was a European dinosaur, it would have been cloned in 1989, and it would have been transferred to San Diego only weeks after hatching, since their smaller sizes would have allowed them to grow faster with hormones as seen with the aforementioned Microceratus in Jurassic World Dominion, which could have prevented a larger amount of them from escaping containment and stowing away on the boats. Compsognathus is one of the very few venomous dinosaurs InGen ever cloned, but it won't be the only one we showcase in Jurassic Park San Diego. It's unknown how dangerous the venom is, but if it's anything like the novel's Proceratosaurus, any victims of their bite would experience intense pain and swelling around their entire body. Originally, the paddock was meant to be a petting zoo attraction, but it was scrapped because of the amount of danger that the pack of compies could pose to young children. To ensure that the dinosaurs don't simply sneak beyond the gaps between the electrical wires, we used more intertwined wires like what we see in the perimeter fence from Jurassic Park, and we assumed the same wire type was used in fences surrounding the visitor complex. The Compsognathus replaced the Proceratosaurus from the novel, but despite Robert Burke referring to it as Proceratosaurus triassicus, the animal is intended to be Compsognathus longipes. The last dinosaur we chose to display in Jurassic Park San Diego is definitely one of the more controversial species. Not only because of its place in Jurassic Park canon, but also because of the potential danger it poses to both the guests and even the park staff. We asked ourselves, why exactly was Jurassic Park San Diego decommissioned? Was it due to lack of funds? No. Too many unrealistic expectations? Probably, but not likely. Or what if? Bear with us here. What if the reason Jurassic Park San Diego was left to rot was because the threat that this very specific animal posed if it were to escape? It was so terrifying that even many of InGen's investors either left or threatened to cut them off. An incomplete genetic creation, engineered by sewing the ends of the gene sequence gaps together, as opposed to filling them with frog DNA. A creature that posed such a threat that even Hammond ordered it to be euthanized. All records of existence destroyed. A creature that, had it escaped, could cause even more damage than even a rampaging buck tyrannosaur. The Troodon pectinodon. The Troodon was first seen in Jurassic Park the game, and although it is not officially canon, the walking paralysis demon dug its way into the hearts of nearly everyone on the Ambermine team. Despite its amazingly terrifying appearance, its true claim to fame, however, is the unusually parasitic breeding behavior. Tarantula hawks use their stingers to inject venom into their victims, which causes a variety of symptoms such as blindness, paralysis, hallucinations, and eventually brain death. During this process, the mother would lay eggs into the abdomen of the spider, which upon hatching, the newborns would eat the entire body of their host with the exception of the brain and the central nervous system. If the victim was unfortunate enough not to pass out from shock, they would feel everything. This behavior is already terrifyingly enough for a 2-inch wasp, and while generally harmless to humans, its sting is still incredibly painful. Now let's bring that up to a 6-foot-long predatory dinosaur. It brings a whole new level of fear into the lives of anyone living within 20 miles of San Diego, which we believe is one of the main reasons they switched from the amphitheater to the remote Costa Rican island, Isla Nublar. For the last 3 huts seen in Jurassic Park San Diego concept art, we chose to move the focus away from the dinosaurs and turned it back towards the guests by turning the huts into amenities, such as a restaurant, a gift shop, and a bathroom. We placed them together in an area behind the amphitheater instead of shoving all the amenities into the main amphitheater, not only because guests wouldn't have to run around half the park just to get there, but also because it's already filled up with these kind of things as it is. And this decision totally wasn't influenced because we had a hard time finding 3 small dinosaurs for the park, that Bob wouldn't go on a 40-minute long rant about how they weren't cloned before 1989. The decision was made solely because of our pure capitalist ideologies. Taking reference from the Visitor Center blueprints, we decided to make one of the huts the Gallimimus gift shop, which was connected to the Cretaceous Cafe seen in the first film. Designed as a large open-air circular gift shop that you can freely access from roads to either side, or even the nearby restaurant. This will not be the only gift shop in the park, but is definitely one of the largest, and is designed to sell nearly all Jurassic-related merchandise that would be sold in all the other stands in the amphitheater, such as novelty shirts, toys, informational packets, and, as it is a very open-air building, large amounts of bug spray, and even, yes, sanitizer. So that last building there, we decided to make that last building here the Les Gigantes, which was mentioned but never shown in the concept art for the first movie, and is also brought in from the novel. Despite what the game says, Les Gigantes is separate from the Visitor Center, and the cafe shown in the film was actually the Cretaceous Cafe. The original intention for the restaurant was to be Thunder Falls Terrace from Universal Studios' Islands of Adventure, and it was designed with that idea in mind, but it was changed last minute to Les Gigantes to fit more with the Jurassic Park canon. Although it is not clear in the concept art, we decided to add a second floor to the restaurant to expand the amount of dining areas, as well as provide a rooftop viewing for nearly all the nearby exhibits. Within the restaurant, you have the option of a table seating, booths, or an exclusive bar access where you can watch them cook in front of you. Outside, you have the ability to eat at the tables or the park benches scattered around the park. Although the southern face of the building does have direct access to the nearby Gallimimus gift shop. Everything added to San Diego had a reason to be added, whether it was from concept art or is required for a park like this to function. Nearly everything we add has had some tie to Jurassic Park, even if it is indirectly tied via more direct addition. But we aren't perfect, and there are always exceptions, problems, or even inaccuracies. But we strive to make the most of what we have. We want to thank everyone who has supported the channel. The team here at the Amber Mine cannot wait to show off everything we have in store for this project, and for the channel's future. And we'd like to hear your thoughts. After knowing every dinosaur that we have on display, is there anything you'd like to see added? A new species? A gimmick? An attraction? Restaurant? Reference? We cannot guarantee we will add anything that you recommend, but we definitely will take your thoughts into consideration. As always, we're going to issue a challenge for the chance to win the map early. The amphitheater is stocked full of amenities for guests during their stay here at San Diego, most of which are sponsors who helped fund InGen in the creation of Jurassic Park. Can you guess which company was one of InGen's largest investors? Here's a hint. They weren't canonical investors, but they did advertise a lot for the first film. As a bonus, there are many restaurants that are Jurassic Park exclusive, and nearly all of them are based on actual restaurants designed for the first movie. And there are others based on real-life locations from Universal Studios, other than Thunder Falls Terrace that was previously mentioned. But can you guys guess another restaurant that will be on display in our amphitheater? Thank you all for watching this most recent addition to our San Diego build series. We're getting very close to the release of our map, and your support on this journey has been a major push in getting this project to reach its full potential. Tune in next week for an in-depth review of the amphitheater's restaurants and stalls that make Jurassic Park San Diego even more of a marvel to behold. Hey Amber Miners, thanks for watching today's video. Be sure to click the subscribe button on your way out and click the bell icon to be notified of our videos when we upload them. Consider leaving a like on this video so we know that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment about content that you would like to see come to this channel, and be sure to check the description for links to our Discord if you would like to talk to the team more directly. Check out our Patreon if you would like to help fund the team and its upcoming projects. Remember, this is a fan group reviewing the depths of our favorite franchise, and that we are in no way affiliated with the groups and companies that own them. Be sure to support Universal Studios and Amblin Entertainment. This has been an Amber Mine production. Thank you for mining with us.